If you split squat first, although sure stability is going to be more of a limiting factor, your session can't get any worse. Literally, this is the worst part of the session. If you get over and done with, your session can only get better. So from a psychological perspective, how actually going to back it? Kelly Matthews, one of my favourite creators on the platform at the moment, is going to talk us through a gnarly leg day follow along. Don't come at me in the comment section. It's called not being funny despite my best efforts. So stop it. I'm going to talk about what I think could be better and all that good stuff, and you're going to hopefully learn something from the video. But before we do so, I'm going to hit you with a curveball. Is if you're watching this, click the link in the description or maybe even in the comment section, because the TFNL nutrition guide has just gone live. It's a good amount of information debunking many myths you probably still believe, and it's essentially an ebook that will simplify nutrition to help you achieve your goals, whatever they may be, because it really doesn't need to be that complicated. And people online keep telling you it's more complicated than it is, but it's not, and my ebook is going to tell you why. And it's probably cheaper than all of those anyway, because quite frankly, I have no friends and I just want people to like me, so I create things that are informative and cheap. So you might actually miss me if I didn't upload a video 1 week. I'm also going to add, if you do actually learn anything throughout this video, I would very much appreciate it if you did subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to me and it tells YouTube that maybe I will be missed if I didn't upload a video. First movement today, split squat. Honestly, I normally actually favour starting with less stable movements towards the end of the workout, because I don't want stability to actually hinder my muscles' ability to reach close proximity of failure. But I kind of see her logic here in the sense that if you split squat first, although sure stability is going to be more of a limiting factor, your session can't get any worse. Literally, this is the worst part of the session. If you get over and done with, your session can only get better. So from a psychological perspective, how actually going to back it? That's heavy. I respect it. The two primary areas we're looking at targeting here are going to be the glutes and the quads. Whether you want to be more quad bias, glute bias is completely up to you, and that's essentially going to come down to your knee/shin angle. If the knee is traveling more quads. If the knee isn't traveling as much and there's more of a vertical shin angle, more glutes. Unless you're doing it for the psychological perspective, I would typically shift favor to doing split squats last or near the end. Hang on a second. I thought she stopped her set and went straight into the other set. I was going to tell her off for doing that, because if you're doing a unilateral movement like a split squat, please rest between sides, because there will be a byproduct of fatigue from the first side that will impact the second side's ability to work to a closer proximity of failure. So if you do your left side and go straight into your right side, your breathing from finishing the first side is going to hinder your right side ability to meet the stimulus the first side achieved. If you have an imbalance, go for it. Strong side straight into the weak side. If you don't have an imbalance, rest between sides. We have, it looks like a glute bias hyperextension. I like this. A couple of things I'm going to say. Firstly, I feel like she'd probably go heavy on that because she's a bloody strong person. How do we know this is more glute bias? I'm going to tell you how. So you see there's a knee bend here. When we bend the knees, that essentially puts the hamstrings in something we call active insufficiency, which will essentially reduce how much work they're doing, thus allowing you to shift a bit more emphasis to the glutes, hence it being glute bias. So if you want to work more of the hamstrings, straighter legs. Same with the RDL. If you want to work more of the glutes, bend the knees. Again, active insufficiency shifts emphasis over to the glutes rather than the hamstrings. That's a little tip trick for you. Leg extension, there's not really a lot to say here. You cannot cock up a leg extension that much. All I say is just go all the way down, all the way up, and you're probably fine. People are going to question why there are 3 pins here. It's because it's a Prime machine. Prime are one of the brands that essentially allow you to load at different portions of the rep. So for example, depending on where the weight is placed on each pin will determine whether there is more emphasis on the shortened position, mid position, or lengthened position of the movement. Is that something most of you need to worry about? Probably not. Is that something you can worry about if you're looking for that 1% optimization? Maybe, but for most people it's probably not that deep. Abductor, I mean, yeah, you can do it. The thing I find with the abductor is a lot of people I find when they do the abductor typically develop some piriformis inflammation or irritation, which can seemingly lead into something like piriformis syndrome, which can contribute to sciatica. So again, this is something I experienced personally, but it's something to be wary of. If you're doing abductor movements like so, and you start getting sciatica, that's probably why, just your piriformis is inflamed and it's punching the sciatic nerve. I'm not a massive fan of it personally, but you can if you want. It's a superset. I only really like supersets if we're gonna do this to save time. So if Kelly's saving time, I respect it. If she's not saving time, I probably stick to straight sets, just because they're probably going to be better for building muscle. Looks like we have a B stance RDL. I like this. One thing I would say is lack of straps is concerning. Your grip is probably never going to be as strong as your posterior chain. Lack of straps here will probably hinder your hamstrings and glutes' ability to drive closer to failure, because again, I'd expect your grip to go out first. It looks like we have a little bit of a twist hello, this is naughty. There's actually a bit of an argument here that due to that little rotation we're getting, no, it's not unsafe, but it could further lengthen the glutes, which we kind of like, because obviously when you're doing a hip hinge pattern like so, especially with sufficient knee bend as we're seeing here, the glutes are going to get lengthened quite sufficiently. Add a bit more of a twist in there, just a tiny bit of rotation, you can then potentially lengthen them even further. Do you need to do it? No, but can you do it? Absolutely. As people say, oh, that's going to be bad for your back. Why is it? Your body is capable of doing incredible things. It can twist, it can bend, it can do all sorts. Just because it doesn't align with textbook form where things aren't perfectly straight and aligned doesn't mean it's bad. Do you need to worry about twisting a B-stance RDL? Probably not, but you can if you want to. Just make sure you're doing it properly, because there's no point adding something cool into a movement if it doesn't achieve what you want it to achieve. Very quickly, link down below, you know we've got a few things. You've got the link to work with myself on a one-to-one online coaching basis where I can help coach you towards your goals, whatever they may be, wherever you may be in the world. You've also got the link to the TFNL workout guides, which now includes a brand new nutrition guide, which is bloody sick, bloody cheap, and pairs bloody nicely with the other TFNL guides that not only tell you what to do, they tell you why you should be doing it, and actually show you how to do it too. You've also got the TFNL group coaching, which either for home or at the gym, whichever tickles your pickle, for less than $1 a day, you get a bloody sick program written by me that will help you achieve your goals, especially when it comes to anything related to building muscle and getting stronger. And if you want to lose weight, gain weight, whatever they may be, those two things are probably applicable. So have a gander down below at the description and let me know your thoughts. How many movements do we have? We had a split squat, we like that. We had a glute bias back extension or hyper extension, whatever you want to call it. We had an abductor, a leg extension, and a B-stance RDL. Do I like all of these movements? No, I don't. Do I like how many movements there were? Yes, I do. 5 movements is a great number. Most of my sessions will probably include about 5 to 7 movements, probably 5 to 6 in reality. I love a split squat because it's fantastic, although like I said, I would put it near at the end. I love a glute bias back extension. I think it's fantastic working the glutes in their shortened position. We like that. Good alternative for a hip thrust if you don't like thrust or bridge patterns. I love a leg extension. Again, when we look at the quads, one of the few movements you can do to really target the rec fem will be a leg extension or sissy squat, but a leg extension is a bit easier for people to do. So I love that. A abductor machine, don't love it myself. Sure, it has a time and a place. Yes, it can be included, but I just probably wouldn't include it if I was only doing 5 movements personally. But yes, you can depending on the person and their goals. And this workout is designed for Kelly and her goals. And the B-stance RDL with a slight twist, I love that as well. Do you need to? Absolutely not. Any hip hinge pattern is going to be pretty good. Like a good morning's fine, an RDL's fine, an SLDL is fine. It depends what you're trying to achieve. But for looking at lengthening the glutes, a B-stance RDL with a twist is probably one of the better options there. So I'm a really big fan, especially when I look at Kelly. I know she's much more of a intermediate to advanced athlete, which I respect, which means when she does these things like a B-stance RDL with a twist, I know she's doing so because she knows exactly what she's doing, and she's not doing it because she copied someone off Instagram, because I see that all the time. And then when I ask people, why are you doing that? They say, don't know, saw this person do it, to which I say, that's probably not a great justification. Volume, if it were me personally, what I would probably do is I'd probably bang in the middle, 2 sets of everything. I think it's going to be plenty. Could I do 1 set of some things? Sure. Could I do 3 sets of some things? Sure. But 2 sets of everything is going to be pretty solid. As long as I'm training 2, if not close to failure, so maybe 0 to 1, 0 to 2 reps in reserve, fantastic. And the one thing I would say is you probably need to rest longer. Honestly, it sounds silly, but everyone's like, oh, 5 exercises, 2 sets, that's only going to take me half an hour. No, it shouldn't. It should probably still take you an hour, because you should be resting for probably at least 3 minutes per set. And when you do a split squat, you probably want to rest between sides as well, because if you are training hard enough and with sufficient intensity, you're going to need that time to recover. And if you're recovering quickly within 30 or 60 seconds, you're probably not training hard enough. But again, like with all my videos, this is just my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours in the comment section below. And also, if you have any video ideas that you want to throw to me, my Instagram DMs are always open. Ping them across to me at Harry_TFNL, and I'll slap them on the list. But until the next one, thank you for tolerating me. Thank you for tolerating my waffle about the lower body that you never see of mine anyway. And thank you for tolerating the video.